non-response error. He enlightened us through his valuable speech on several features and parameters of a good research design methodology. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, madam, for your nice reporting. Today we got eminent Professor Dr. Kishore Mukherjee from Union Christian Training College, Behrampur, as a resource person for this session. Welcome once again to our research methodology workshop. Sir, welcome. We are eagerly waiting to listen you. Before that, I would like to request Mr. Prakash Mistry for the formal introduction of Professor Kishore Mukherjee, sir. Prakash, sir, please proceed.
Thank you, Madam Avantika, Madam. Good morning, Honorable Resource Person and Principal, Madam, and other delegates, and very good morning, all of you. Very good. Today's second day first session, a week online multidisciplinary international workshop organized by Kalinagar Mahavidyalaya and Babasaheb Ambedkar Education University. Myself, I am Sri Prakash Mistry, Assistant Professor in Geography, Kishore Bharati Bhagniyevita College, Behala, Kolkata. Today, I would like to thank to organizing committee, joint director, convener of this international workshop, and thanks other all members in organizing committee. I have opportunity to introducing resource person. Today resource person, Dr. Kishore Mukherjee. Welcome, sir. Dr. Mukherjee, he is presently now Associate Professor in Physical Education, Union Christian College, Murshidabad in Beharampur, West Bengal. Welcome, sir. He is renowned instructor of physical education in our country. He has contributed articles to many national and international level journals. He served many seminar resource person. He especially speaks yoga, education, and benefit health and wellness in broad level. He was awarded and different honor in national and international level. Recently, he awarded Dr. G.P. Gautam Lifetime Achievement Award in Physical Education and Outstanding Physical Education and Sports Professional Award in 2022. He completed on minor research project and he is presently enlisted co-supervisor of on guiding PhD research scholar under Dr. C.V. Raman University. Today, we will hope in his lecture to enrich the all delegates and we will enjoy this session. Again, thanks to all of you. I handed over the microphone, Avantika Madam. Please, Madam, take microphone.
Thank you, sir, for your nice introduction. Now I am requesting our honorable resource person, Dr. Kishore Mukherjee, sir, to start the session. Sir, stage is all yours. Please proceed.
Just one point I would like to mention. Kishore sir, now Associate Professor and Director of Sports Union Christian Training College. Okay. Okay, sir, welcome.
Good morning. My screen is visible?
Yes, sir, visible. Visible.
Okay, good morning, everybody. First of all, I am expressing my sincere thanks and gratitude to Professor Shoma Bandyopadhyay, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Babasaheb Ambedkar Education University, respected Dr. Ishani Ghosh, TIC, Kalinagar Mahavidyalaya, Dr. Subhashish Chatterjee, IQAC Coordinator, and special thanks to Dr. Biswajit Bala of Babasaheb Ambedkar Education University. I am here only because of him. Respected moderator of this session, Dr. Avantika Mondal, and my learned friends. So without much delay, I am going to start my presentation. My topic of deliberation is Art and Science of Research Report. Whatever research you have conducted, whether it is simple one or a complex one, you have to report it in a befitting manner. So if you are conducting a simple research and your reporting is scientific, then it is accepted. If you are conducted most difficult research and complex research, but your research report is not too much scientific, then it is not accepted. So reporting matters. Whatever research you have conducted, it is reflected to your research report. It is the most important part of research of an individual. So today I have divided my session in 4 different heads. First one, definition of research, which you have all known about it. Then writing the research report, especially I am emphasizing on the PhD thesis as well as the master degree dissertation work. Then reviewing and referencing, third part, and the fourth part is abstract preparation. So these are the 4 ways I am going to deliver this session. Now, what is research? Research as a scientific and systematic search of pertinent information on a specific topic. In fact, research is an art of scientific investigation. Research can be defined as the search of knowledge or as any systematic investigation to establish facts. Research process, combination of 3 different areas. Re means again and again, search means finding, and process means step by step. So you have to search again and again to find some solution. Step by step is the process of research. Research is a systematic process of collecting and analyzing information to increase our understanding of the world in general and to the phenomena under study in particular. Meaning, search of knowledge, search again and again, scientific and systematic search for pertinent information on a specific topics, an original contribution of existing stock of knowledge, making for its advancement, pursuit of truth with the help of study, observation, comparison, and experiment. Now, why research? What is the need of research? Research comes from curiosity, that is basic research, to formulate theories and laws, to minimize the information gap, to exploration of a subject. This is the basic type of research. Then basic research, when we are applying it in a particular field, that is applied research, and after that we are going to develop the application part for the utility of the applications, and at the end of that, the quality of life will be increased. So this is the reason for conducting any kind of research. But in some cases, research is also helpful. Why we are doing research? Because we are stay connected with the society. We want to explore any particular field of knowledge. We want to find some new solutions for a particular problem. If we want to get eligible for admission in the higher education teaching profession, PhD degree is required. For that reason also, we are conducting research, and to get the increment when we are in service, we are conducting the research. So there are so many scopes and so many reasons behind the research work. Now, if I classify the research, we can classify the research in 3 broad areas. First one, based on the future. Future, that means experimental type of research. Based on the present scenario, that is survey studies, it may be a comparative one, it may be relationship, it may be predictive, and it may be descriptive one also. If we want to go for to study the past event, historical research based on the meaningful past, philosophical research based on the vision and wisdom, case studies based on the social unit. So these are the 3 areas. Past event, we are going to analyze the past event, we are going to analyze the present event, present situation, and we can go to predict on the future also aspect also. Now the process of research. Step 1, process of initiation of a question or problem. If there is any question arise in your mind, you have to search for the solution of that particular question. And for that reason, you have to go for the research work. And the second step is goals and objectives are formulated to deal with that question and problem. Whatever question is arise, how you are going to deal. What are the objectives you have formulated to deal with that question and to sort out the problem? That is the second step. And the third step, the research design is developed to achieve the objective. That means your aim is the question which arises in your mind, and your objective is how to sort out that question, how to achieve that aim. It is the objective of your research work. And what are the design you are going to develop to get that objective, that is the third step, that is the research design. And the fourth step, results are generated by conducting research. How you are going to generate your result after conducting the research. This is the fourth stage. And last one, interpretation and analysis of result. So there are 5 steps. Question arise in your mind, you are thoughtful, you are go search and search to sort out the problem. That means you are formulating some sort of objective. Then you are develop some sort of research design to sort out that objective. Then result, you are collecting data, result are generated, and interpretation and analysis of the result. These are the 5 steps are there for research process, which I have mentioned over here. The formal training is required for that question and problem. Then formulating goals and objectives, plans and research design, generate research result, interpretation result, and draw conclusions. Now, what are the steps I have mentioned in this way also? First is the research proposal. For conducting any kind of research in education and scenario, you have to prepare a research proposal. And what are the areas of research proposal? Identify the general study area. Choose your, first you have to identify what are the area where we are going to study. Study area, then choose a research topic on that particular study area, then formulate plan and methodology. These are the steps, these are the phases of the research proposal. Formulate a plan and methodology. And based on the how we are going to formulate a plan and methodology, based on the review of related literature. So review of related literature plays a major role to formulate a research problem. Then the main part, that is the research activity part, this part directed towards the collection of data, analysis and interpretation, and last one, and the foremost and important one, is the reporting, that is written content. Present your findings. Whatever research you have done, whatever expenses you have already used for conducting that particular type of research, it is the research report that tells everything. So research report is the face of the research. If you are doing a good amount of research or complex research, but you are not being able to report it in a befitting manner, then it will be of no use. So reporting is the most important part of the research. Research report are detailed and accurate account of conduct of discipline, studied, accomplished to solve problems or to reveal new knowledge. Research is the systematic investigation into study of a new natural phenomena or materials or sources or existing condition of the society in order to identify facts or to get additional information and derive new conclusions. It is a production process which needs a number of inputs to produce a new knowledge and application of new and existing knowledge to generate technology that ultimately may generate economic prosperity of the nation. Simple a research paper or report is a systematic write-up on the findings of the study, including method. The general purpose of research report is to convey the significant details of research about the findings of already carried out research or project work, or the purpose of the work have been done. So how we are going to write the report? That's the important. What is the importance of research report? Which I have already discussed. Report writing is the art of communicating. You are communicating, you are informing the fact which you have collected from your research work. Report writing is an art of communicating information that has been acquired through research and or investigation in a formal, structured manner. It involves synthesizing information, drawing conclusion, and make recommendation based on your findings. American Management Association gives this definition. First you have to identify, then search, then organize. These are the aspects. The component, if we are thinking about what are the component of a research report or PhD thesis, what are the component? There are main 3 components are there for research report or PhD thesis or dissertation work. First one is the preliminaries. Second one, the most important one, main body of the report and the reference material. So 3 parts are there in research report. First one, the preliminaries. Second part, main body of the report. And third part, the reference materials. What is preliminaries? Preliminaries, it contains 10 aspects. First one, front fly leaf, title page, dedication, approval page, declaration, short vita, acknowledgement, table of content, list of tables, and list of illustration. These are the scientific way how you are going to present your findings in the form of thesis. This is the preliminary section. All these things should be there in your PhD thesis or dissertation thesis. Now, the preliminaries, I will come one by one. Front file leaf. A blank front file leaf should be provided in the thesis between the cover and the title page. This sheet is not included in pagination. Clear? Next, the title page. The first page of the thesis is the title page. The title page includes the title of the thesis, author's name, state of submission, institution receiving the thesis, degree for which the thesis is presented, and month and year of submission. Yeah? The title of the thesis should be in a concise form. It should, however, be short and comprehensive enough to convey clearly the subject of the study. The title should be at the top of the page in capital letters, in double space, and centered between right and left margin. I am showing my PhD thesis work. This is the title page. Left one is the title page. And next, dedication. A separate set is to be attached after the title page so as to enable the research scholar to recognize those whom she hold in high esteem or towards whom he has personal bonds or affection. Dedication normally done to the professor, relatives, and friends. So this is the dedication of my PhD thesis, dedication to my parents and all the sports lovers of the nation. Now, the next stage is approval page. A separate approval page should be provided following the title page or dedication page, if any. Declaration page. A declaration page should be given after the approval or certificate page, including authenticity of the research and paraphrasing statement. Vita, a brief vita should be added after the approval sheet to enable the readers to have adequate information regarding the research scholar profession as well as other qualifications and backgrounds. This is the approval sheet. I'm showing my approval sheet here. Now this is the declaration and this is the acknowledgement. I'm showing some sort of from my PhD thesis work. Now acknowledgement. A brief acknowledgement ordinarily follows vita. Here the research scholar should convey his thanks and express his sense of gratitude to the thesis advisor and others who have been a source of inspiration and help in the research study. The top of the page should bear the title acknowledgement in capital letters. Only the initials of the research scholar are to appear below the acknowledgement and not the full name. Say, for example, for Kishore Mukhopadhyay, KM. Clear? Now, the table of content. This comprises of the list of tables, list of illustrations, chapter headings into which the thesis is divided, subheadings and subdivisions of the appendix, and bibliography indicating the page number on which this begins. Now, list of tables I am showing over here, and the list of these are the list of tables, table of content and list of tables, list of illustration. In this way, you have to write down. Then list of table. The list of tables should be typed in the capital and centered between the right and left margin. The table heading should carry exactly the same wording as they appear in the body of the thesis. Proper page number should be mentioned. Then list of illustration, it will also follow the same rule like the list of tables. So this is in short all about the preliminaries. Now it is the main part of the research report. In the main part of the research report, there are several chapters. Say, for example, in case of physical education, in case of education in general, in case of yogic education, we are following these five chapters. These are the 5 chapters, an important part of the research report. First one in the introduction, second one, review of related literature, third one, methodology and procedure, fourth one, result and discussion, and fifth one, summary, conclusion, and recommendations. Now, in chapter 1, that is the introductory part, what are the subheadings are there? That is the background first, background of the study, then statement of the problem, then objective of the study, then delimitations, then limitations, then hypothesis, that means research questions, then definition of terms and significance of the study. In introductory part, first one, background of the study. The research scholar should logically present the purpose, needs, and scope of the study so that the reader is able to develop a clear concept of the problem. Previous research related to the problem and exploration of relevant information should be discussed logically. Clear? Then the second part, that is the statement of the problem. The purpose of the study properly stated may itself be the statement of the problem. If you are properly state the purpose of the study, it will be a statement of the problem. Clear? The problem should be stated consciously and clearly, and it should convey the total scope of the study undertaken. Third one is the objective. Clearly mention the objective of the study to explore the unknown and unlock new possibilities, and in-depth analysis of information. Create space for generating new question, concept, and understanding. How you are achieving the aim of the research is the objective. Yeah. Then delimitations. This will be essential for the research scholar to reduce the problem to a workable size and set boundaries by limiting the scope. Through delimitation, the boundaries of the study are clearly defined. Say, for example, if you are conducting a research work of the secondary student of Calcutta, it will be a huge number of samples. You have to include a huge number of samples. But if you are collecting the data for the secondary girl students of Calcutta, then the scope of collecting the data will be minimized. So how you are dealing your problem? You are just narrowing the scope. So it is your concept, how you are going to delimit your research so that you can study in a pinpoint area. Clear? Then limitation. Some factors are there which affect the study and which are beyond the control of the research scholar are mentioned under this heading. This may include previous social background, educational qualification of the parents, culture, economical background, environment, religion. All these factors may have effect on your research findings of the result. So this is beyond the scope of the researcher. So that will be the limitation of the study. Clear? Then you have to formulate the hypothesis, sixth subheading. This is the hunch or guess of the research scholar which forms the basis of the investigation. The projected result of the study arises out of the research scholar's experience in the field or of his rational thinking resulting from the background and the related literature viewed by him. The hypothesis act as the guideline throughout the investigation. The hypothesis is not to be proved, but to be tested. Before conducting the research work, there must be some sort of question, and this question is termed as hypothesis. What is your idea? You have to guess depending upon your own knowledge, depending upon the review of related literature, you have to guess. And that will be the hypothesis of the study. That is not proven. You have to test it. After formulating hypothesis, you have to test and justify it. Clear? So, and next one is the definition and explanation of terms. The relevant professional technical terms should be defined in relation to the research undertaken by the research scholar. The research scholar may give his own definition for certain terms in case none of the available definitions are appropriate for the study. So whatever terminology, technical terminology or professional terminology you are used in your thesis, you are listed out in this area. And it will be in the alphabetical order. Clear? And the last one is the significance of the study. While explaining the significance of the problem, the research scholar should clearly justify the reason for undertaking the research work, why you are going to do the research work. So you have to justify it. It should be clearly stated how this study will contribute to the area of knowledge in that field. The significance tells the reader how the findings affect the topic in broad field. In other words, the significance is about how much the findings matter. What is the implication of a research work in the society? All these things will be there in the significance of the study section. Now, so this is the first chapter. We have divided this research in 5 different chapters. The second chapter is review of related literature. Although I am going to show some sort of light in that area in later on, still, this chapter includes review of related literature related to the study undertaken by the scholar. The scholar may review a large number of studies, but only those which are related to the research undertaking should be cited in that chapter. while citing the study, a brief statement of research methodology used findings are also to be included. So this is the second chapter, and the third chapter is the methodology and procedure, or procedure we can say. In this chapter, the scholar explained in detail the research procedures employed in this study. Here, the scholar should provide a detailed explanation of different types of research involved, as well as specific research design. The description of research procedure will depend upon the nature of the study. You may not require that in each and every research samples are required. If there is sample, who are the sample? What is the procedure of collecting the sampling? What are the sampling procedure? What is the design of your study? You have to mention it. Then the procedure varies from different types of studies, such as those involving the philosophical, historical, survey, or experimental method. In all instances, the sources utilized and the methods by which the evidence was evaluated must be outlined. This chapter would also include the methods adopting for collection procedure of data, presentation of data, including statistical procedure, if any. So everything, what are the steps you have taken for conducting the research, you have to mention here in a befitting way. Clear? You can include the demographic or the graph from where graphical representation also there, from by which we can able to understand the area of your research, where you are collecting your data. This is a very appealing for eye, and this is very scientific also. You have to include the demographic data here also. Okay? Depending on the different geographical locations. So statistical procedure, validity of the test, if you are conducting any kind of test, reliability of test, all these things can be mentioned over here in this methodology section, but it is depend upon the nature of research work you are going to conduct. Then the heart of the research report is the result and discussion chapter. In this chapter, the actual analysis of data, the result along with the findings and discussion of findings should be presented. The findings and discussion of findings must be presented systematically to enable the reader to get a logical flow of information. State reporting of the result or findings should be the aim of the research column. This chapter does not include raw data, but statistical procedures, finding, and illustrations may be given to the report the analysis of the data. Research hypothesis should be discussed scientifically. Whatever hypothesis you have taken in the first chapter, you have to discuss the testing of the hypothesis at the end of this chapter. Discussion of hypothesis. Clear? Whatever statistical procedure you have mentioned in the third chapter, you have to show the table. Say, for example, ANOVA table, T table, and with the help of table, you are able to discuss the result, only result of the study. With the help of the study, you are going to discuss the result of we are going to mention the result of the study. Then, with the help of the graphical representation, you are going to discuss that area. First, depending upon the table, you are going to discuss the result, and depending upon the graph, you are going to discuss the why this is so. Discussion part. Clear? So, this is the main area of research report. This is the heart of research report. And now, the last chapter, that is summary, conclusion, and recommendations. These chapters should give an overview of the entire research study undertaken. It includes in summarizing the forms, purpose of the study, methods employed, and the result achieved. Contribution of the research work of the society, the findings of the study are presented in the form of conclusions, and the research scholar also makes recommendations for future research on the particular focusing point of the study. Say, for example, if you are going to conduct a research in Calcutta for girl student, same kind of research work can be done for boy student also. You can mention that in your recommendation area. Now, the third part of the research report is the reference material. What is the reference material we should include in your thesis? Therefore, you can divide it in the 4 categories. First one is the appendix. Second one is the bibliography. Third one is the glossary. And fourth one, the backfly leaf. What is appendix? Although it is not always included in the thesis, however, one or more appendices may be useful for voluminous material, is not essential for understanding of the text, but it may have some value for deeper understanding of the thesis. Appendix includes list of abbreviated term you are used in your thesis, raw data, detailed program, questionnaire, test form, letters. If you are citing any area, you can say diagram, you are citing any diagram for which is already published by some different research scholar or author, you are citing that same diagram in your research because it is too much relevant for your research, you have to take permission of that author. And this permission letter, they are issuing letter, and this letter you should include in the appendix area. If you are going to conduct any kind of research to any educational institution, before conducting research, you should give a letter and take the response from that institution, and you can include that letter in your appendix section. That will increase the authenticity of your research. That matters. Everything matters. What are the questionnaire you are using? Everything will be there in the appendix. Then the B part, that is the bibliography. It lists the relevant sources used by the research scholar in writing the source thesis. It should include all the references appearing in the footnote. In some cases, footnote may not be used in some university for some university. Some guidelines are there, and other materials pertinent to the research. However, loading up bibliography with irrelevant references is contraindication. You are using too much references which you are not cited in your main part of the research report. So that is contraindication. Whatever references, whatever information you are giving in your research, you should mention in the bibliographic section that particular area, that particular citation only. Clear? It should contain only those references which the research scholar found useful in his research study. These are classified into sections. Then this bibliography can be classified in 3 sections or 4 sections, divided into heads such as books, then journals and periodicals, then thesis, then URLs, and entries should be arranged alphabetical order under each heading. Alphabetical order under books, alphabetical order under journals and periodicals, alphabetical order in case of URLs also. Because while we are using URLs, you have to write the total name of the area, then year of publication, then you can use the URLs. So first letter, depending upon the first letter of the name of the area or name of title of the study, you can use in alphabetical order also. Under each head, using surname first. In case of arranging it in alphabetical order, you have to use surname first, surname of the author first, followed by name. Clear? Say for example, Kishore Mukhopadhyay K. Then glossary. What is this? A glossary is a collection of words pertaining to a particular specific topic. If your thesis or dissertation, it's a list of all terms you used that may not immediately be obvious to your reader. Your glossary only needs to include terms that your reader may not be familiar with, and it's intended to enhance their understanding of work. Glossaries are not mandatory, but if you use a lot of technical and specific terminology, it may improve readability to add one. So you can, although it is not mandatory, but if you are using so many technical terms and technical words, you can use it in the glossary, and it should be in alphabetical order. You can use the abbreviation, list of abbreviation and list of glossary at the beginning of the chapter also, because it is helpful for the readers. First, they know the abbreviated term, the glossary, then you can go for the study the introductory part. You can use it in the first chapter also, preliminary section also. Clear? Then, backfly leaf. A backfly leaf is provided as the last sheet of the thesis. On this sheet, if you want, you can enter the name of the typist in the center and between the margin. This is the bibliographic section, books, then list of abbreviation terms. This is from my PhD thesis. Now, preparation of, this is the various parts of research report preparation or thesis preparation. Now, how we are going to prepare it? For preparation or drafting of report, 3 steps are involved. Clear? First one, first draft, comprehensiveness and fullness of fact. Whatever facts you are collecting from different sources, you are using it here in the first draft. Then precision or accuracy of the fact. coherence or logics of the fact, and movement or transition of facts and ideas. That should be there in the first draft. Yeah. Now, second and third draft. Second, make the writing precise, concise, and brief. Critical evaluation on written facts, finding, conclusion, and recommendation should be stressed in the second draft. And the third and final draft. Third, the final stage is drafting the preparation of the final report, finishing and final touches, documentation and polished. Documentation indicate the references of the sources, additional data and discussion, further reading, thoroughness of the investigation, guide to future work. All this, in this way, you have to prepare your draft in three separate cases, three times. Then what is the characteristics of a good research thesis report? It must be attractive one. Clear, the topic must be clear, balanced language, no repetition of fact, statement of scientific fact, practicability, description of the different difficulties and the shortcomings. All these things will be there in your research report. These are the reference material I have cited over here from the Sodh Ganga. You can collect it. You can collect the different PhD thesis from the Sodh Ganga, Sodh Gangotri, National Information Center. All a good number of sites are available, and with the help of this site, you can able to download the chapter also, the total thesis also. Now, I am moving towards the third part of my deliberation, that is reviewing and referencing. Most of the cases I have seen, there are a good number of research methodology workshop was conducted during this last 4 or 5 years, but very few are giving the stress on the reviewing aspect. It is the most important one. How to conduct review, how you are referencing, all these things matters. It is an important part, and that's why I think I am including these, reviewing and referencing. A substantive, thorough, and sophisticated literature review is a precondition for doing substantive, thorough, and sophisticated research. To synthesize the result into a summary, when you are synthesizing result into the summary of what is and what is not known, identify areas of controversy in the literature, review plays a major role. What a literature review is? Develop the scholar's understanding of the literature in the field of study, a synthesis, a critical analysis and narratives, current, it must be current. In case of historical research, you can take the data of earlier years also, defined by a guided concept. So this is in short all about the review. How now, what are the purpose of research review of related literature? The literature review is a critical look at the existing research that is significant to the work that you are carried out. To provide background information and organize the research statement. In order to organize the research statement, you are collecting the question is arise in your mind when you're going for the review work or studying some research material, then some sort of question may be arise, and you want to understand, you want to sort out that question. So some research topic may come out from this literature review also. And to establish importance and synthesis, the result into summary, to demonstrate familiarity and the areas of controversy. Some controversies are also there in the research. To carve out a space of future understanding. I am giving an example of this controversy. So there are 4 aspects: organization, synthesis, controversy, and further research. Say, for example, in case of physical education, we all know that effect of training decreases the resting heart rate of an individual. Clear? This is established fact, and all the research reports are saying that. When we are going to conduct any research work in my particular area, after giving some sort of treatment, we are not getting any result. So before treatment result and after treatment results are almost identical. Then it is a controversy because we are giving the training procedure, but we are not getting any result. But our findings are the findings of other researchers are saying something different. Why this is so? You have to search it out. This matters because they are working with the novice and beginners, and you are working with the elite level performer. They are already in training process. That is the reason how you are going to sort out. So controversy should include in your research work also. So many controversies are there, and you have to study it and sort out think it critically and logically and sort out your problems. Okay? To carve out a space of future research. Now, literature search. First, it is start with the identified topic of interest. Then it is gradually narrowing, generate related questions. Then state unsolved problems. Then find or develop solutions. Clear? This is the procedure. The literature reviews we can also discuss in this way also. Select a topic. How you are going to select a topic? First, you have to select an area. Say, for example, I am giving you an example. You are selected that I am going to do research work on yogic education. Yoga is a part of education also. I am going to explore that area. How this yogic education? So your area is yogic yoga, clear? Or yoga. Now, what will be the topic? Your area is yoga. Now you are going to the research work, going different research work on yoga area, and you will see. It is very much important if we are implementing the yogic intervention to the student in order to gain the cognitive development, intellectual ability, academic performance, all these things. So this may be the title of your research work. After studying all this relevant, related literature, these questions arise in your mind. So it is a hypothesis. Then search the literature, you are getting this. Then develop your argument. You are developing the concept that 4 or 5 months yogic intervention, especially meditation, pranayam, and some sort of postures may improve the cognitive ability, academic performance of secondary students. This is the argument. And you are, depending upon that, you are formatting the hypothesis. In this case, you are directing the hypothesis that yogic intervention is helpful for developing the cognitive ability, academic performance, and mental aptitude of secondary student. That means you are directing. It is a directional hypothesis. Now you have to test whether your hypothesis is correct or not. And for testing that, you have to collect data, analysis, and interpretation it. Okay? Then survey the literature. You have to survey different literatures. Critique the literature. You have to critically analyze. Then write the review. Then you have to, the last part is the writing the review part. Now, steps of writing a literature review. What are the steps you should follow to write a literature review? This is an important part. Very few research workshop conferences, this area is highlighted or stressed. Steps for writing a literature review. First one is the planning. Second one is the reading and research. Third one is analyzing. Fourth one, drafting and revision. These are the 5 steps. Now, planning. How you are going to review? First, you have to focus the particular area. What is the specific thesis? What is the problem or research question that may literature review helps to define? Our literature review helps us to define the question. So sort out the question to give the right answer. For that reason, relevant literature should be reviewed. And for that reason, you should be focused on that area. Then identify a focus that allows you to sort and categorize information, what information you should require. Then eliminate the irrelevant information. In case of any kind of thesis, there are so many new areas are there which may not be related with your study. So eliminate in that area. You are focusing on your particular area. Then type. What type of literature review I am conducting? Theory, methodology, policy, questionnaire, qualitative or quantitative, what type? Then the next stage is scope. Focusing, then type, then scope. What is the scope of my literature review? What type of sources I am using? Academic discipline. What fields I am working in? Then reflection. Take a moment to answer each of the questions in the planning section of your packet about a literature review you are currently working on or plan to work on. How many of the question could you answer? What question did the short exercise rise to you? So focusing, then in this way, last part is reflection, then reading and researching. After that, you can go for reading and researching. Collect and read the materials, summarize the resources. Who is the author? What is the author's main purpose? What is the author's theoretical perspective, research methodology? Who is the intended audience? What is the principal point, conclusion, thesis, content, or questions? In this way, what does the study add to your project? Select only relevant books and articles. Only relevant books and irrelevant thing you may not include in your review section. Then search the literature, type the sources that can be included. What are the sources? That is the books, articles, abstract, reviews, dissertations, thesis, research reports, website, films, etc., etc. Identify the most important and useful database of your discipline. Develop an understanding of the academic terminology for your field of study. Determine the time frame. It is an important aspect. If you are going to do any kind of PhD work, there must be some sort of time. And at the time of conducting research, you have to be very much selective. You can use 2 months for introduction part. You can use 3 months for review part. In this way, scientifically, you are going step by step. Then you are able to finish your research within due course. Analyzing resources. A literature review is never just a little of studies. It always offers an argument about a book, body of research. Analysis occurs in 2 levels, individual sources and body of research. Individual sources, when you are analyzing you are getting some sort of different type of information that depend upon the conclusion of the result. But when you go to the body of the text, you can get some different argument also. So analyzing in 2 ways. Then survey and critique the literature. When analyzing research study, must also identify some of the key elements that all research studies should include: problem, purpose, research question, sample, methodology, key findings, conclusions, and recommendations. 4 analytical tasks of research review. Task of research review: first you summarize, then you synthesize, then critically discuss, and then compare. These are the 4 steps. This is the 4 area by which you are able to write down the literature review, which is related to your research report. Then summary and synthesis. In your own words, summarize and or synthesize the key findings relevant to your study. What do we know about the immediate area? What are the key arguments, key characteristics, key concept, and key figures? What are the existing database and theories? What common methodology are used? Then content of review, how you are citing the review in your review of related literature section. It is also you have to write down the review of related literature, and you have to cite it in a very systematic way. There are 3 parts. First one, introduction part, then body and the conclusion part. Introduction part: what is the purpose of the study? The body, what is the methodology they are using, and what conclusion they are drawing for that particular type of research. In this way, they write the review, use the result of your analysis and critique of the literature to develop the organization of your review, develop a detailed outline, be selective with the literature you include. Write the review, synthesis, and synthesis. Recognize and reassemble all of the separate pieces and details to create an integrated whole. Make connection between and among ideas and concept, never present as chain of isolated summaries of previous studies. The synthesis needs to build a knowledge-based and extend new links of thinking. Remember, it is your entry into the conversation. Now, what are the characteristics of a good quality review of related literature? Before going to start in this area, I am going to discuss some important pertinent part of this review of related literature section. If you are doing a research work depending on a good number of variables, arrange your review section variable wise. You are including some mental aptitude, then you can again include the academic excellence, then you can include the mental toughness, then again you are including this academic excellence. This is made up in this way. Variable wise, you are giving all sorts of information. Then next variables, you are giving all sorts of information. You are citing all sorts of in this way. It's a logical way you are going to cite the important part in the review of literature section. And in the same way, you are mentioned it in the discussion part also, parameter wise. Clear? A good review of literature must be comprehensive. It should include up-to-date references. It should be systematic. It should be reproducible. It should be free from biasness. It should be well written. It should be in the form of sum of its part. It should be clearly searched and selected. Accurate reference should be given in the review section. So these are the characteristics of good quality review of related literature. What are the factors effective review of related literature? Researcher's background. If you are doing PhD work after completion of your master degree without having any dissertation work, that means you are a beginner. So in that case, you have to work hard, but too much harder work you have to do if you want to complete the total research work within the stipulated period. If you have an experience for conducting the dissertation work, then you are experienced researcher. An experienced researcher find it easy to prepare a review of related literature than a beginner. Clear? Then complexity of the research project. It is easy to collect review of related literature for simple and easy research project than complex one. In my cases, when I did my PhD work, and I was awarded in the year 1998, that time, database and internet was not so much common. First one. And the second one, whatever information I have taken from National Information Center, New Delhi, I have found very few research work on human beings. All the research work which was conducted during that period on animals. Very few research work. So this is an important aspect also. Then availability of resources. Availability of resources like computers, internet facilities, online and offline journal subscription makes it easy to prepare a good review of related literature. So many resources are available nowadays in order to get the review of related literature. Study time frame to conduct a relevant review of literature, sufficient time is needed. Sufficient time is needed. Don't do research work hurriedly. You have to give time. You have to be a good amount of patience within yourself, because you are going to do a PhD work, and at the end of this work, you will get a doctorate degree. That matters. Availability of support system. If there are many research scholars involved in that research, then a good review of related literature can be generated. Actually, in case of a project, when a good number of researchers are working in a laboratory, when everybody is involved to carry out the project work, then it is easy for the particular researcher, the principal investigator, to sort out the review, because 10 or 5 or 6 or 2 or 3, whatever heads are there that are involving to carry out the research report, the review process. Then type of review of literature. What are the types of review of related literature? It can be a traditional or narrative review of related literature. What is this? This type critique and summarize literature to draw conclusion about a topic. It is only based on the drawing the conclusion, and you are critically and summarize the literature. Only critical and summarize question. Clear? This is a traditional method. Then the systematic review of literature is an important part. Systematic review of related literature. This method use more well-defined approach, mainly used for making a complete list of all published and unpublished studies related to the particular topic. Whatever areas are there, published material you have collected, or unpublished work also, you have to go thoroughly. That is the systematic review of related literature. The first one is the traditional part. Only important topics you are dealing with. Okay. Then meta-analysis. What is this? What is meta-analysis? This type of review takes a large quantitative findings and conducts a statistical analysis to integrate those findings, enhance its understanding. Meta-analysis means if you are going to sort out the education, secondary education system of village people, you have to collect a good amount of research work related on that particular area. And after getting all the sorts of research work, say for example 60 or 70 research work you have collected from different parts of the India as well as abroad, you have to analyze and you have to create a better framework to sort out that particular type of problem. That is the meta-analysis. And what is meta-synthesis? In that cases, most of the studies are meta-synthesis in nature, but we are reporting meta-analysis. This is a wrong way. This is a non-statistical method using to integrate and evaluate and interpret the findings of multiple similar quantitative studies to identify the common elements. That means if you are going to sort out that particular problem of the village people, education, secondary education system of the village people, you are studying a good number of research work, and without including their statistical part of their data, you are discussing depending upon their findings of the study. And you are reporting in a different way to sort out that particular problem, to draw up a framework. So that is meta-synthesis. Statistical part is absent in case of meta-synthesis. Statistical part is very much present in case of meta-analysis. This is the difference between these two. And these are based on the review process. Without review, you are not being able to conduct this type of study. Then sources of related literature. What are the sources? First one, electronic database, books, journals, conference papers, thesis, encyclopedia or dictionary, research reports, magazines and newspapers. All these things are the sources of the review of related literature. Then source of review of related literature, I have already mentioned primary sources, secondary sources, and tertiary sources. Primary sources mean the author who has conducted the researcher who has directly conducted the research work and reported it, and you are citing that report. That is primary. If somebody author reports some different author citation, that is in a secondary source, that is cross reference. And tertiary, Wikipedia, bibliography, dictionary, guidebook, manual, handbook, etc. These are the tertiary sources. Impersonal side, then what are the styles of? There are some key areas in the review of related literature. You may use personal pronouns to describe what you did as a researcher. As well, I instructed the participant, but keep in mind that you are writing a research report, not a personal journal, not a personal letter. It is different between qualitative and quantitative reports. You should avoid colloquial expressions and jargon word. Clear? So your research report must be a simple one. Your review must be a simple one so that everybody can understand it. Then verb and tense. In your literature review, if you are at a specific time, or is continuing into the present, use the present perfect tense. Use have, has. Clear? Before the verb. When you present your result, always use the past tense. When you present your result, that means the result has already been done, and you are repeating after that. Use the past tense. Switch to the present tense to discuss the result and your conclusion. This conclusion part may be the present tense. So these are the tenses. Reducing the biased language. Be sensitive to label. Call people when they prefer to be called. For example, instead of schizophrenia and elderly, just remove it. People diagnosed with schizophrenia and older adults. It will help in two ways. It will able to remove the paraphrasing part, and it will help to make your review section more meaningful. Clear? Describe people with a level of specificity that is occur. For example, when describing ethnic groups, instead of general terms used as a Asian, American, Korean, ethnic groups, you can mention it. Then paraphrase. This is an important part. Most of the researchers are now falling in this category. It is also depend upon the university guideline. In some cases, university are allowing 15% paraphrasing. In some university, they are allowing 20% paraphrasing. In some highly technical and authentic journal and scientific journal, high impact factor journal, they are allowing 0% tolerance. The level of tolerance is 0. Clear? So paraphrasing means you are citing the research of the other researcher. But in case of there is a guideline of UGC that you can able to publish your paper, you go for publication if there is no mention on the paraphrasing part, less than 30%. Tolerance level will be less than 30. That is the guideline of the UGC. If you are crossing the guideline, that means you are in the punishable. You are in a punishable offense. So paraphrasing quotation should be used sparingly. As a general rule, it is better to paraphrase a point using your own words than to quote directly from another work. You have to use your own word, but the meaning will be the same. This is the meaning of the paraphrasing. For short quotation, when you are inserting quotations in the review section, for short quotation, fewer than 40 words, the quotation is embedded in the text with quotation marks at both ends, start and finish. More attractive, athletic, and intelligent than the same model showed with a tattoo. That is a quotation. You are using in this way. You are properly give the reference also. If there is more than 40 words, display it in the intent freestanding block of text without quotation marks. At the end of the block's quotation, cite the quote source and the page number in the parenthesis after the final punctuation mark. This will be if the word are more than 40, then you have to quote in this way. But keep the point in your mind that it will be a part of your paraphrasing. It will include in your paraphrasing section. Clear? So here I am. Later on, I will discuss in this paraphrasing area also why to reference. Now we know how to conduct the review of related literature. What are the different parts of scientific research report? We have all understand it. Clear? Now, what is the importance of reference? Provides the substantial research has been done to support our analysis, enables others to follow up on our work, gives credit to other people's work, avoid charges of plagiarism, required to support all significant statement, include to indicate readings. If you are not giving any kind of reference, you are citing some different area, some different authors' information in your text. If you are not referred it properly, that means you are stealing. You are under the Intellectual Property Act. That's why I mentioned in the first chapter that you have to take written permission. Clear? Then type of references. What are the type of references? Journal reference, book reference, internet reference. Reference element, how you are going to write down the reference? Author's name. Clear? Article title, these are required. Article name, year, volume and page number, these are the requirement for referencing any citation. Different style of writing a reference. Reference can be written in different style. Harvard style of referencing, American psychological association style. Hello? Hello? আচ্ছা আমি করে দিচ্ছি ঠিক আছে ওকে the scarcity of time I have to conclude in a very shortly. So these are the various types of references. Actually we are using the American Psychological Association APA 7 style. Harvard's type of referencing, author's name followed by its initial, year of publication, article title with single quotation marks followed by full stop, name of the journal in italic form, volume number by a comma, issue number in bracket, and page number. You can see this is the Harvard style of referencing. American psychological style of referencing. Here, in these cases, this inverted bracket, this first bracket is absent in case of volume number. Only comma is there. Referencing list and list bibliography, two separate things are there. Reference list is something different. Bibliography is something different. Bibliography you should enter in a separate sheet, alphabetical order at the end of the thesis. And reference list you can use at the bottom of the page, which is known as footnote, and at the end of the chapter, that is known as end note. Most of the reference entries followed by the basic pattern, article in the journal, article in the book. This is the pattern of referencing we are using. Then if there is more than, if one author is there, then you can name only the name of the author within bracket the year of publication, 2 names, these and these, 3 names, these and co-authors on these, 3 and 4 you have to write down the name, more than 6, Jones et al. You can use the only et al. Instead of using the name of the other authors, only et al. Within bracket you can mention the year of publication. Footnotes, I am not giving you the... Now, how you are going to referencing? How you are going to select a particular type of reference? You can write down in automatically, and you can preserve it also. See, first, open a Word document, then reference, click the reference, select the style. All the styles are there, and you can write it down in the Word document, and you can save it also. In this way, you can write the Word document, insert, referencing, footnote, bibliography style, all these things are there in the reference section. You can select that one, and you can write down the total. It will automatically come in the Word document, and you can preserve it for your future references. Then quality is abstract. The time is very slow still, very little. Still, I am just going to show the parts of abstract. I'm just two types of abstracts are there. They are descriptive and informative. In case of abstract, it is better to write in this 5 ways. First, 1 or 2 sentences used for introduction part, then what is the purpose of your research work, then what methods you are using, what are the samples, and the result of the study, and within 1 or 2 sentences you can mention the conclusion part. In case of abstract for scientific research report or paper, research paper for publication in the journal, it must be within 200 to 250 words. Depending upon the nature of the journal, all these informations are there in the author's section. Author's instruction section, you can get all these things. What is the guideline of the journal? What will be the font of that abstract? All these things. It will be in a single spacing. These are my references. With these, I may conclude today. Thanks you very much for his presence sharing. A picture is worth 1,000 words. Use as much picture as possible. Relevant picture is possible with proper referencing and citation.
Thank you, sir, for your beautiful presentation. Now, the forum is open for discussion. Participants can ask a question to our respected resource person. Please. Shulagna madam, please on your microphone and ask.
Yeah, a very good afternoon. Not afternoon yet. 10 15 minutes to go. So thank you, sir, for a wonderful presentation. I just add a little point, one point, that referencing is a vast area. So we should also learn how to go for referencing, what style of referencing. You have cited your thing that with example in your presentation, but it is it may be a part of the workshop to do hands-on training, to have a hands-on training on how we do referencing, right?
Yes. Oh, one area is also there that I don't know, but in case of referencing, we can use the help of computer. Already is there in the Word document. You can, depending on different types of referencing procedure, you can follow it, and you can easily write down in the Word document paper, and you can preserve it also.
Yeah, computer has done our work little.
Yes.
Much more.
And I want to mention one more thing in this doc, although it is not related to the referencing, but in case of paraphrasing, we are going to track so many softwares are available based on artificial intelligence.
That is
you are able to track the paraphrasing. What are the areas from where we are collecting the data, collecting the material, it is clearly mentioned, and they are clearly give you the report of percentage of paraphrasing. After tracking the paraphrasing, it is your duty to remove the paraphrase part. If you go for removing part, there is a bit problem if you are using computer, because you must be a very selective one. If you are using high code and low code, in case of basketball, they are giving you the judicial code. Clear? Because it is based on artificial intelligence, you have to be very selective while removing this paraphrasing part. Otherwise, your material will be meaningless. So this is also an important part of which is required for reviewing. for review of related literature, for discussion part everywhere.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. for
Good
giving
morning,
me the
sir.
opportunity over here.
Good
Thanks.
morning, sir.
Good morning.
Sir, thanks for your wonderful lecture, sir. Sir, I have a request. Sir, if you could provide study material of today's session, it would be very
Definitely,
helpful.
definitely, I will share this PPT to you. Okay, PPT
Okay,
to the
thank you,
organizers so that they are able to share it for
Okay,
your
sir.
future use. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thanks a lot. Okay.
Good morning, sir.
Yes.
Good morning, sir. Sir, I have you have showed in some of slide that main body of the report. There is four things, that is chapter 1 introduction, chapter 2, chapter 3, and chapter 4. There
Chapter 5.
particularly
Total 5 chapters are there.
yes, 5 chapters.
Yeah.
And chapter 2 is a research related literature, and chapter 3 is methodology.
Methods and
Those things
procedures. Methods and
I
procedures.
saw in several yes methodology of procedures. Sir, my question is, I saw in Shodh Ganga there is several research paper thesis, and there is same structure is followed, and title also. The first is introduction, second is the literature review, and third is the methodology. The title of the chapter is also the same. But what happens if the research is historical research? Is that
Actually,
the
in
same
case of
goes-
historical research, that is no question. It is a qualitative research. Clear? This is the
Okay.
general procedure to follow. In case of historical research, there must be some sort of hypothesis also. So you have to justify the hypothesis in the discussion part. And you can divide this discussion part in different subheading also based on 10 years interval. You can divide it 10 years, then 10 years, then 10 years, then 10 years. Okay? If you are
Yes.
studying the total regime of any dynasty, you can divide in 10 years interval also.
Okay.
You can subdivide the discussion part also. Clear? And but the basic structure is the same. This will be the basic structure.
Okay.
And the nature of different kind of study, say for example, Bengali literature, Sanskrit literature, English literature, their reporting may be something different. These type of research is relevant for education, physical education, and yogic education.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
I think, sir, there is no more questions from our participants. Thank you, sir, for your nice presentation. Your word have really energized us to do good research work. Respected sir had discussion on art and science of research report. Sir divided his presentation into 4 parts: definition and classification of research, report writing, and review of literature and abstract. He very lucidly explained the chapterization of research and process of literature review and referencing, which are must need of the hour. Last of all, valuable discussion with participants gave another dimension to the session. Once again, thank you, sir, for enlightening us regarding this matter. Session was really interesting. Thank you, sir.
Thanks a lot, madam.
Thank you, sir. I am now requesting Dr. Boishakhi Nag for formal vote of thanks. Madam, please proceed. Madam, you are not audible. Madam, you are not audible.
Good morning to everyone, our respected guests and all other participants. I am Boishakhi Nag from Bhairav Ganguly College, affiliated to West Bengal State University. Now, as the one-week international workshop on research methodology organized by IQAC and our Research and Development Cell, Kalinagar Mahavidyalaya, in collaboration with Baba Saheb Ambedkar
Education University enters into its second day, we have with us one of our esteemed resource persons, Dr. Kishore Mukhopadhyay, who has enlightened us with his illuminating lecture and kept us engrossed with his appreciable speech during the entire lecture session. It is my great honor and privilege to extend vote of thanks to our eminent guest on behalf of the organizers and participants, and we expect that Dr. Mukhopadhyay would continue to add new feathers to the Department of Physical Education, Union Christian Training College. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank all the participants for their dedicated cooperation and enthusiasm covering the entire lecture session. Thank you.
Thank you, Boishakhi madam. Once again, thank you, Professor Kishore Mukherjee sir. Now I hand over this morning session to Dr. Polas Das. Dr. Polas Das is from Baba Saheb Ambedkar Education.
Supriyo sir, please mute your audio. Madam, may I start now? Already 5 minutes gone.
Sir, please start.
Okay, madam. Thank you. A very good afternoon to all. At first, I am expressing my special thanks to the chief patron, joint director, and joint convener of this workshop for giving me opportunity for such type of responsibility. Before lunch, this is the second technical session of the day. In this session, our distinguished resource person, Professor Dr. Ashit Kumar Das, ex-Dean, Department of Social Welfare, University of Kolani, will discuss on the topic as paradigm shift in research strategies towards collaboration, unidisciplinary to multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary to transdisciplinary approaches. Now I'd like to request Mrs. Sonali Rai Chaudhuri Ghosh to introduce our resource person.
Hello everyone. Myself Sonali Rai Chaudhuri Ghosh, Assistant Professor, IOE Haldia B.Ed College, respected professor and faculties and research scholar. Today is the second day of 1 week international workshop on multidisciplinary on research methodology organized by Kalinagar Mahavidyalaya and Babasaheb Ambedkar Education University, erstwhile WBU TTEPA. Dear faculties and research scholars, I am thankful to Honorable VC Dr. Shoma Bandyopadhyay Ma'am and Registrar Dr. Moitri Bhattacharya Ma'am of Babasaheb Ambedkar Education University. TIC Dr. Ishani Ghosh Ma'am of Kalinagar Mahavidyalaya and Devashish Vishwas Sir, Inspector of College, University of Calcutta. And very much thankful Dr. Shubhashish Chatterjee Sir from Kalinagar Mahavidyalaya and Dr. Vishwajit Bala Sir, HOD Department of Teacher Education of Babasaheb Ambedkar Education University. Thankful to Ms. Krishna Kundu Ma'am, Assistant Professor, Department of Education of Kalinagar Mahavidyalaya and Dr. Mundira Ghosh, Assistant Professor of Babasaheb Ambedkar Education University. It's my pleasure today resource person is Professor Dr. Ashit Kumar Das Sir. He is Professor of ex-Dean, Department of Social Welfare, University of Kolani, West Bengal. He is educational qualified. He is member of Asiatic Society, International Council of Association for Science Education, Australia, and Commonwealth Association for Science Technology and Mathematics Education. He is Vice President of All India Science Teacher Association and President of Red Cross Society India. Today, our resource person, Dr. Ashit Kumar Das Sir, now discuss the topic paradigm shift in research strategy towards collaboration, undisciplinary to multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary, and transdisciplinary approaches. So, dear friends, brief introduction of resource person. Once again, I welcome you and wishing you all very best of luck online 1 week multidisciplinary international workshop on research methodology. Thank you very much.
Thank you, madam. Sir, kindly start your lecture, sir.
Okay, just a minute. Can you hear me?
Okay, sir, you are audible.
Sushagatam. Welcome to all dignitaries and my young friends. Paradigm shift in research strategy towards collaboration from unidisciplinary to multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary, and transdisciplinary approaches. Nowadays, the research strategy is shifting towards transdisciplinary. I have presented 3 models. Here is 8 disciplines, they are approaching to 1. Here, 8 disciplines, they are superimposed on each other. And the third model, there is almost they have confused or superimposed and diffused their boundaries in a particular manner. The 21st century is the era of collaborative strategies in academia, and obviously paradigm shift has been made in STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, as well as social science, education and research, in increasingly raising on collaborative approaches to address the complexity of real world problems. Whether it's PPTs, can you see the PPT? Coordinator?
Yes, sir.
Here, yes, sir.
Paradigm shift strategy, collaborative research in academia. Collaboration has been changing the global balance of higher education system towards STEM. However, demand of collaboration increasing for solving the complexity of real world problem. All the research and academic activities are to solve the complexity of real world problem. Nowadays, real world problem number of and the complexity of real world problem is increasing. To mitigate that problem, collaboration is needed. The scientists, researcher, policymaker, politicians are gradually assuming the great importance of collaborative strategies in teaching, learning, as well as in research process. Collaborative strategies should accelerate both the quantity, as well as quality of education, as well as research output. Perhaps you are well aware, previously one author and one paper, one author, this was the strategy. Nowadays, in our country and in many journals, this tradition is going on. But in globally, one paper, multiple author has been initiated from 1920s, and it has gaining its momentum 1950s, are almost dominating from 1980s. Some examples I am citing: academic collaboration between the different countries, not only between different disciplines, not only different interdisciplinary approaches, but also different countries in its. From statistics, it has been shown US-UK collaboration in 2011 about 19,090. US-China 19,141. US-Germany 16,752. Similarly, US collaboration with Asian part that has been increasing. China has also since 2000 they are increasing with Japan. China, Taiwan 8 times it has been increased. China, South Korea 10 times. China, Australia 10 times. The trends of collaboration, not only interdisciplinary but also globally different countries, it is needed to mitigate the real world problems. The collaborative strategy of India. You are well aware, the July 2020, which has given emphasis on collaborative strategies, particularly on multidisciplinary approaches in education system. That's why in the last year, 2022, a guideline from UGC had published a guideline for transforming HEI, higher education institution, into multidisciplinary institutions. You are well aware there is stand-alone universities there like IITs, IIMs, health universities, but as per NEP 2022, as well as this MDI guideline, all universities should be multidisciplinary, because multidisciplinary approach towards research strategies as well as academic activities should be there, because the real world problems are complex in nature.
paradigm shift towards collaborative research and co-authorship, which I have mentioned earlier. Paradigm shift towards collaborative research and co-authorship are gradually increasing, which are mainly multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary, and transdisciplinary nature. But nowadays, we are habituated in unidisciplinary research, most of us, including me. From beginning, we are intent to do unidisciplinary. But though my research paper was in multidisciplinary approach, these are most predominant research approaches. However, there are similarities and dissimilarities between the multi, inter, and transdisciplinary. It is mentioned in the report of International Partnership of Research Excellence, UK-US Academic Collaboration. UK government had published 10-year strategy for science and innovation in July 2004, which is mainly based on collaborative research strategies, which had emphasized on the commendable strategy of outward looking towards global partnership. Global partnership, that means collaboration. Highlighted the importance of building research link with the rest of the European country, involving network in China, India, and other countries too. Why? It has been traced upon the Greene and renowned academician and research person also, traced two components. One is increment of scientific idea, for which is the contribution of collaborative research or collaborative strategy, or credit for discovery. If there is collaborative research, collaborative study, then credit will be distributed among the co-researcher. That is very important for the collaborative researchers. Collaboration in multidisciplinary research is now universal as well as essential, and we determine from the list of authors who share in the credit. Currently, there are so many papers have been published, but Greene has pointed out the authors are not properly mentioned who has drafted the paper, which part has been written by which author. That is the lacuna. Co-authorship is a vital indicator of collaboration. Co-authorship, when co-authorship arises, when collaborative research or study conducted, the output should be published anywhere. So who will publish? Those who are accumulated within the collaboration, they will participate. So there is a co-authorship, which is more symmetrical approach in comparing the cost of collaboration. There are only one example. All of you know about the nature. I have no introduction about the nature is needed. In 2001, 700 reports have been published in Nature, out of which only 6 are single author. So mind that how worldwide trends, global trends is going on. For example, the first paper of 1,000 authors, can you imagine, was published in Nature in 2004. All documents are here. If you need, I will give you. A paper with 3,000 authors. These cannot be performed without collaborative research. In 2008, by 2015, 120 physics paper had more than 1,000 authors, and 44 3,000 authors. These are mainly, perhaps all are well known about the CERN, the European Particle Physics Lab near Geneva, Switzerland. the Large Hadron Collaboration. Almost all of the 3,000 authors' papers are the output of this huge collaborative research in CERN to solve the real world problem. Scientific collaboration is inevitable in many research fields. They had given importance in exploring the discovery of research collaboration. How? Another group of educationists had conducted a study in investigating scientific collaboration across the discipline and university boundaries to understand the need coordination funded by NSF. All of you are, NSF is a global premier body, US National Science Foundation. They have conducted so many awards throughout the globe. In 1998-99, a positive outcome had revealed from that study. They have recommended the basis of study on healthcare. Several academic institutions had invested in conducting a many educational programs, facilitated and enhanced resources to encourage translational research, which are mainly critically needed, giving emphasis on creating an sustainable multidisciplinary research team. Jones and their associate co-researcher had examined 4.2 billion papers. Can you imagine 4.2 billion papers? It has been published in 3 decades. It's a huge collaborative research. We make research, but they have made research on which the researchers have produced in papers, by publishing the papers. They found that multi-university collaborations, they had commented that collaborative teamwork has made a dramatic shift in knowledge production. That means dramatic shift of collaborative research that has been converted into shift in knowledge communication, knowledge production, that generalized across the all field of science, engineering, even in social science arena. NSF had developed a topic map of all of their awards. I have just mentioned the NSF every year they plot globally some awards for notable work. They have made a map, topic map on 2000 to 2011, which provides a novel means for measuring interdisciplinarity. How that work? By assessing the language or concept of the award proposals. Language means that repeatedly in research collaboration, language is the factor. Language that does not mean the English, Hindi, or any language. Language means every discipline. As far as physics has separate language, education has separate language, sociology has separate language, terminology, that is very important, and the content matter. Outcomes of scientific alliance or collaboration. Co-researcher had compared the publication outcomes of 2 teams within a multi-university scientific alliances. What has been revealed? When the alliances had been made between 2 teams, it increased the productivity of both the teams at the highest level. And more heterogeneous team has revealed more potentiality. The heterogeneous team variety of knowledge and concept had employed in their research, which yield as initially higher output. Now, you know, there are some interdisciplinary subjects at the group. Education itself, it is a multidisciplinary rather than it is an interdisciplinary subject. So, in recent UGC circular, the university should be made multidisciplinary, where they have recommended education department should be included in each type of higher educational institution. You can go through the July 2022 order of the UGC, regulation of the UGC. From the above mentioned discussion, it has been revealed two major points. Education policies and research approaches are rapidly shifting its strategies towards collaboration. During the past several decades, it leads towards policy and organizational framework and collaboration among different disciplines, researchers, scientists, higher educational institutions, industries, government organizations, as well as non-government organizations, to mitigate the real world problems. Emergence of collaborative strategies in academia. There is disciplinary, multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary, and transdisciplinary. Collaborative strategies that may be intradisciplinary. Suppose what is integration within the same discipline. As for example, education. If there is different sub-disciplines are there, education psychology, education statistics, educational technology, and so on. Education is a multidisciplinary or interdisciplinary approach. Within that, in physics, applied physics, different components from different subdivisions, they can make collaboration, and that can be treated as the intradisciplinary. Interdisciplinary are three types: multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary, and transdisciplinary. Several educationists and academic organizations have defined in separately what will be the definition of multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary. However, definition made by the International Bureau of Education, a unit of UNESCO, are widely accepted, which are given in their website in the UNESCO. That link I also provide you. Topologies classified phenomenon based on similarity and dissimilarity. How these three, apart from interdisciplinary, has been defined. This is based on similarity and dissimilarity between the three categories of collaboration. The first major set of terminology appeared in 1970. These were created for the International Conference, co-sponsorship by the Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development. These three types. This is a simple model. The interdisciplinary or disciplinary approach, there is three subject is different, there is no collaboration. They are doing their research work within their boundary. But in multidisciplinary, they are correlated each other, but within their periphery. In interdisciplinary, there is some superimposed portion, that is the interdisciplinary. In transdisciplinary, all the discipline has dissolved their boundaries and doing for a new set of cause to mitigate the real world problem, complex real world problem. This is another model. This is the simplest model. The problem is in the center, in blue color. There are 5 disciplines. They are doing the research on their own, within their periphery, but for the cause of the common problem, to mitigate that, to solve the common problem. But in case of interdisciplinary, the secondary, all the disciplines within their periphery, they are doing the work or integrating their strategy. There is no integration in case of multidisciplinary, but here is integration of curriculum to mitigate the solve. In transdisciplinary, complex problem, to solve the complex problem, they have dissolved their boundary and set a new set of curriculum. I am going for that. Now, the International Bureau of Education under UNESCO, which they have mentioned, minutely listen or take cognizance about the definition made by the UNESCO, IBE, an approach to curriculum integration which focus primarily on the different disciplines and diverse perspective they bring to illustrate a topic, theme, or issue. The multidisciplinary curriculum is one in which the same topic is studied from the viewpoint of more than one discipline. This is very important. A multidisciplinary curriculum, I repeat, is one in which the same topic is looking after or thinking after by the different discipline on their own way. Frequently, multidisciplinary and cross-disciplinary are used synonymous, describing the aim to cross boundaries between the disciplines. This is interdisciplinary. Some words are similar. There are some similarities, some dissimilarities. An approach to curriculum integration, which was there. Look at the previous, there is a curriculum integration. Here is also curriculum integration. That generates an understanding of themes and ideas that cut across discipline and of the connection between different disciplines and the relationship to real world. It normally emphasizes process and meaning rather than product, and the content by combining content, theories, methodology, and perspectives from two or more disciplines. In the multidisciplinary, they have dealt with from the single discipline for the same cause. But here, for the same cause, by integration of curriculum from different disciplines in the same way. In transdisciplinary, an approach to curriculum integration which focuses primarily on the different discipline and diverse perspective. Diverse perspective, mind that. They bring to illustrate a topic, theme, or issue. To mitigate the issue, they are looking after the from diverse perspective. A multidisciplinary curriculum is one in which the same topic is studied by, multidisciplinary. An approach to curriculum integration which dissolve the boundaries, which I have mentioned earlier, between the conventional disciplines and organizes teaching and learning around the construction of meaning in the context of real world problem or themes. In multidisciplinary and transdisciplinary, there was boundary was intact, but there is no boundary. Interdisciplinary approaches, every type of research or study approaches, there are three main salient features. One is research approach, second is strategy, third is research output. What is the research approaches? Sorry, just a minute. Advancement of knowledge of specific discipline. What is the strategy? Perspective, highly specialized in one discipline. Problem solving within the periphery of that subject. Integration, no integration is needed there. Disciplinary boundaries deal with within the disciplinary boundaries, never cross their boundaries. A theory within the disciplinary purview. Research output, specific disciplinary research output are revealed. But in case for multidisciplinary, what is the research approach? Enhancement of understanding of observed phenomena from several disciplinary perspectives. What is the strategy? All disciplinary disciplines stay separately. Again, strategy depends, as I have shown you in the model, they do not mix each other, but contribute inputs for solving common real-world problems. What is the perspective? Researcher from different disciplines works together. Problem solving need disciplinary experts' opinion towards solving the problem. The experts are dealing that real-world problem from their discipline concern. Integration, no integration of discipline, but integration of curriculum. The curriculum of multidisciplinary study or research or subject, there should be integration of all the disciplines are assembled to solve that problem. Is needed here, cooperation, contribution of the disciplines are involved. Boundary, disciplinary boundaries are exist, never cross the boundary. Theory need develop of disciplinary theories, how to mitigate that problem. Research output, separate disciplinary output on the specific problem. In interdisciplinary, the output was within that discipline, but in multidisciplinary, the output, research output is separate disciplinary. No collaborative subject can claim that is their exclusive contribution or output is there. That is a separate disciplinary output. This is, as for example, if you make a project on water, geography is needed, social science, literature is also involved there, health study is also there, life science, art science, agriculture, physical science, physics, chemistry, etc. Even social science, language that have been, all have been mitigated as per as example, if there is drought, that is also related to water. If water pollution, that is also water. So, in different approach, the multidisciplinary project or research can be made. It is, if environmental awareness, environmental science, that is one type of subject. Environmental awareness, this is another aspect. In environmental awareness, not only the science discipline will contribute, the social science, even the ethical study, value study, that has much contribution, but within their periphery, they can contribute in developing such multidisciplinary project. Interdisciplinary, there is also research approaches, integration of disciplinary knowledge for understanding holistically the phenomena. Integration of disciplinary knowledge. Strategy, prospectively, integration of knowledge and methodology from participating discipline. All the disciplines shall sit together by formulating what will be the output of knowledge and what methodology should be developed. That is the perspective. Problem solving, focused on problem solving, framing, and solving from cross-disciplinary perspective. Integration, stronger integration of curriculum from disciplinary perspective and cooperation. You see, in interdisciplinary, there was no integration of curriculum. But In multidisciplinary, the integration of a curriculum starts, but there was no stronger bonding in framing the integration of the curriculum. But interdisciplinary, it is stronger than that of previous two. Disciplinary boundary are also intact but overlapping. In multidisciplinary, it was separate, but here boundary is there, but boundary is overlapping. Theory need integration of understanding on formulating proper methodology and epistemological and ontological perspectives also. What would be the output, research output? Integrated research output. It will be revealed. This is just simple chemistry, biology, if mixed, there is a common area, you can see, that will be the interdisciplinary one. Physics, biology, biotechnology, biology, technology, they have overlapping each other and common integrated strategy developed the biotechnology, biochemistry, medicinal chemistry. These are the emerging subjects. Now that medicinal chemistry has the very importance and demand of subject depends on the on its capability to mitigate the real world problems. Nowadays, health problem is a major problem. That's one of my students. He is in working in Kharagpur IIT. He was in chemistry. Now he is in that medicinal chemistry. I learned from him that it has a huge demand. The students, those who are taking the chemistry, they can convert it into interdisciplinary approach, that medical chemistry. That is, he told me, no student of his, he's just junior assistant professor there, early age of 32 or 33. No student of his master degree, it's that means without jobless. Before completion of their subject, they have already engaged anywhere. However, transdisciplinary approach, research approaches, integration and cross-fertilization, a new term, cross-fertilization. You are well aware about the cross-fertilization in biology. That language which I have talked a few minutes earlier, these are the language, cross-fertilization. If it is applied in biology, the meaning is another. But in pedagogy, in educational pedagogy, the cross-fertilization has this language that what is same, but its inner meaning is different and it yields different meaning. Fertilization of disciplinary knowledge and expertise for developing new methodology, tools and techniques. I repeat, integration and cross-fertilization of disciplinary knowledge. One is knowledge of different discipline, expertise of different discipline, new methodologies, and similarly, tools and techniques shall be developed through the principle of cross-fertilization. The main feature of transdisciplinary is cross-fertilization of everything. Strategies, creating a cross-fertilized perspective of intellectual framework beyond the disciplinary perspective. Here, no discipline has the specific perspective. All the disciplines will think about a new set of cross-fertilized perspective. How problems will be solved? Solving problems by going beyond the disciplinary perspective through involving researchers, practitioners, policy makers, beneficiaries, and other stakeholders also, and the industry concern, which I have told. The medical, medical chemistry. If industry is not concerned about that subject, that type of collaborative transdisciplinary research cannot be yield anything. Hello, can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, sir. You are audible.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Because I cannot see you. Okay. Disciplinary boundaries, all disciplinary boundaries would be dissolved. There will be no separate boundaries of any discipline. Create a new boundary depending on the need for solving the problem. As for example, which I am talking about, the medical chemistry. There will be no boundary of medical science or health science. There will be no boundary of chemistry. Both of them will dissolve their boundary and create a new boundary to mitigate this real problem by cross-fertilizing their knowledge, expertise, etc. Research output, integrated and cross-fertilized strong research output would be refilled from there. As for example, food technology. We are all concerned about the nutrition. Nowadays, you are well known that there is a midday meal. But the real sense, the midday meal, how far it is practically implemented, that is another thing. But strategically, when it was germinated, the idea that was to give the balanced food to the poor, needy kids for their all-round development. When thinking about any research on the balanced meal or food technology, agriculture, horticulture, fishery, poultry, biochemistry, physics, applied chemistry, medical chemistry, medicine, physiology, biology, even sociology, education, ethics, religious ethos, all are integrated within this transdisciplinary research project, where no separate boundary of any discipline will be persist. A cross-fertilized strategies, integration will be there. This is a simple example. I have tried to compare the three types of research strategies: the collaborative research, multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary, and transdisciplinary. Definition I have already mentioned earlier. What is the similarity? There are major two similarities. There are so many similarities, but major two similarities I have. An approach to curriculum integration. In case of three research strategy collaborative, there is curriculum integration. But I have mentioned there, though there is curriculum integration, there is also some differences rather than some upgradation in curriculum integration. Second, solve the real world problem. The main objective of all three types of collaborative research to mitigate the complexity of the real world problem, and the complexity of the real world problem determines which type of collaborative research, whether it will be multidisciplinary or interdisciplinary or transdisciplinary, that depends on the complexity and the emergence or emergency of that real world. Boundaries, already I mentioned, no need. Differences, different disciplines are focusing on the same real world problem from their own disciplinary perspective. In case of transdisciplinary, cross-disciplinary real world problem, they are within the discipline, but the cross-disciplinary real-world problem they are solving from their common disciplinary perspective. In multidisciplinary, own disciplinary perspective, and in that case, common disciplinary perspective. But in case of transdisciplinary, all disciplines focusing on cross-disciplinary fertilized theme in the context of real-world problem by dissolving their boundaries. These are the major differences, even though there are, rather it may be said, there is no difference, there is similarity, only upgradation of process, technology, and knowledge step by step. That can be grossly, we can say it is the difference, but in inner meaning, there is no difference, only the upgradation, the steps of collaborative researches. Some guidening principles for conducting successful research collaboration. How this collaborative research can be performed. Solving the most critically important scientific problems or engineering groundbreaking technology often requires team of researchers from different backgrounds to work together, and a positive collaboration is also needed. We have previously I told about the CERN, that big hadron, that collaborative research, a huge research throughout the globe, where 3,000 authors had written so many articles in Nature and other leading journal globally. What is the output? The integration of ideas and thoughts and technologies. Some might make new materials. So chemistry will help characterize and understanding the perspective of the materials, physics, assemble the material into useful device engineering, address the biological problem to be solved, biology, demonstrate utility in patients, the medicine. Another should be how the ethical concern about that collaborative research. The ethics is there, moral value is there, that is, sociology will be involved, how the impact of that collaborative research reflect in the society. Education should be there. That's why UGC has forced to open the education subject in all the MDI. What methodology, what pedagogy should be involved there? Mathematics, we cannot ignore mathematics. That should be included. I have limited, only mentioned the 5. A single laboratory is unlikely to have all the expertise necessary to address complex problems that can make a significant impact on the society. So collaboration is needed. No single laboratory nowadays can mitigate the real world problem unless collaboration is there. Some of the guiding principles for conducting successful research collaboration. I have picked out 8 components. It may be 18, maybe 4. According to your study or research, you can find out. However, sorry, I have to take drinking water. First one, learn the language, which I have mentioned earlier, giving an example. Different subject has a different language. So you have to learn the language when you are dealing with multi, inter, or transdisciplinary. Make an operational plan, how that it is a huge task and important task. The planning of the operational plan, keeping in mind everything, address differences in operation. There should be clear strategy how the differences can be mitigated. Share of credit. I'll discuss later on how conflict arises for sharing of credits. Share the fund. When you will be take a huge collaborative or small cooperative collaborative research that may be interdisciplinary or interdisciplinary, funds from different sources it will come. Now, just like today, this workshop is going on in collaboration with two, one is college, another is university. That UGC and the higher bodies, even international bodies, academic bodies, they are giving emphasis and giving importance on collaborative works, not single works. Discuss project plan and time management. Hold frequent meetings. Encourage open communication. And the rider I have mentioned deliberately, be fair and respectful, because there are so many possibilities. Unfair means, and do not give respect to the junior research fellows. Even sometimes the seniors also trapped within this disrespectful activities. Some guiding principles for conducting successful research collaboration, solving the most critical important scientific problems, or perhaps, First, guiding principles for conducting collaborative research that I have mentioned there. First one is learn the language. How? Formulating common strategies. One of the biggest challenge in conducting collaborative research is formulating of a communication strategy that is capable to all researchers. How it is? The terminologies, the language that should be formulated first, keeping in mind what is the real world problem and how we are planning to mitigate that real world problem. Second one, the language should be determined by the awareness about the disciplinary language. Every discipline has its own language. Each discipline and often each laboratory has its own unique language. Occasionally, the same term can be defined completely differently depending on the discipline or even from one research group to another. Just I have a few minutes ago, I have mentioned this cross-fertilization. If it is use this term in biology, physiology, or botany, the same, because they are the same group of discipline. But if it is applied in research, methodology, then education, the meaning of this cross-fertilization of ethics in ethical study, the meaning will be another. So the language you have to determine for the collaborative research. The patience in defining technologies and jargons. Commonly used terminologies and jargon should be clearly defined. And collaborating disciplines shall define these with patience and explaining concept is required. Because collaborating discipline shall define these with patience and biasness and unbiasedness. These are the two ingredients for collaborative research. Make an operational plan. Second one, without planning, no research can be done, even unidisciplinary. As for my experience is concerned, some of my students asked, "So I will make a research on this." I wonder, why you have make a plan on this topic? No, this is a very good topic. And why you have chosen by making comment this good topic? No, that my friend said, that teacher said, and that does not. You make a plan. You go through previous research on the subject. Then you decide. When you are making unidisciplinary, multidisciplinary, or transdisciplinary, you should make an operational plan. What is the role of each discipline when it is collaborative? If it is unidisciplinary, you should. What would be role yourself? What would be the expectation from the supervisor? What is the expectation from the library? That you have to define first. Role of each discipline, and in unidisciplinary, role of each stakeholder who are associated with this research on the project, and what are the objectives of each discipline in accomplishing the goal of the project. The role of discipline, it depends upon the types of collaboration, whether it is multidisciplinary or transdisciplinary or it is interdisciplinary. According to types of research, it should be defined. Prior to that, which type of research collaboration will administer, that depends upon the, I have mentioned earlier, the complexity of the real world problem which you are planning to mitigate, that direct you which type of research, whether it is multidisciplinary or interdisciplinary or transdisciplinary. So you have to analyze, scrutiny the real world problem and find out the components. Then you decide what type of research you are going to do. Then accordingly, you identify the roles of each discipline. How can how can the project communicate? What strategies will be used to address the problem? Privacy issue for each discipline. What are the privacy issues for each discipline? It is also a major problem. Can researcher discuss the project with other members of their own research discipline? Whether, suppose, one multidisciplinary or interdisciplinary between physics, chemistry, mathematics, and education. Whether researcher from physics, they will only talk or give his expertise on chemistry or physics, or he or she can allow to participate in education. It should be open. Expertise opinion from that discipline, but discussion, any researcher give the opportunity to discuss any point arising out of any discipline. If there are patents created, how will be recorded? It is a great problem. That should be defined in the planning. Different timelines for each group contribution. It should be defined in the planning. I am lagging behind the time, so I'll hurry you to address difference in opinion. Development of common communication strategy. Each of the participating discipline operates can be significantly different. As for example, biologists, chemists, physics will conduct the research by formulating hypotheses. But many engineers may not adopt that research methodology. So different discipline has different methodology. But in case of collaborative research, there should be new strategies. Formulating useful reporting tools. How the tools will be used for reporting. Formulate useful shared reporting tools through discussion to bridge the differences between the researchers. Communicating reports of each discipline may be circulated among the members before monthly meeting. Nowadays, there is no need of monthly meeting or bi-monthly meeting. There is portal is there, education technology there. Every day, in real-time communication can be made within that group, not outside the group, within the interdisciplinary, transdisciplinary group. Share of credit of all researchers. A system to be developed for providing appropriate credit to all researchers who participate in the project. In proportion, definitely. Authorship, there shall be clear guideline how the authorship will be organized. If papers are published, manuscript will, clear guidelines should be there. Who will write the manuscript, frame the manuscript for a particular output of the research. Patent rights will, there is a commotion. Every time PIs, most cases, if it is multidisciplinary, there should be a PI from each discipline and one PI will be overall all the disciplines. Sometimes some of the PIs, not everyone, they claim the credit himself, but practically he or she does very little for the work. So the strategy should be clear how the credit will be shared. Credit allocation and transfer, that should be a guideline there. Share of funds, it is also a critical strategy in sharing the fund. All PIs shall agree to share the financial responsibility from the different disciplines. Lead PI, who is the not superior, but one should be there on by virtue of which excellence, sometime by virtue of which, if all PIs are similar type, then virtue of age, that may be determined by the group in discussion. There should be a lead PI. If there is 5 disciplines, there is 5 PIs from each discipline, and one is lead PI, should not control the fund. In many cases, it is found that lead PI tried to control the fund. That should be clear there. All participants should develop a financial plan. A budget should be there. Everybody should learn to be responsible how the fund will be. Funding is not bottomless. Discuss project plan and time management. The project plan. At the beginning of any collaboration, it is important to develop a project plan, which I have mentioned earlier. Again, repeat again, project plan. That is strategic planning, that was I have discussed. Now it is project plan. That is strategic planning has been developed. On the basis of strategic planning, that team should prepare a project plan, how the collaborative study would be implemented. Objectives and long-term and short-term goals. Every project, when you are perhaps so far as I came to know, the previous lecture was on right of research article or art of writing research article, tools and techniques. There should be some objectives of research. When it is collaborative research or any research, there should be some objectives in broader sense, and there should be some goals also. Short-term goals, immediate effect, and long-term goal. So that should be defined, and that reflects the utility of your project, and on that basis, the funding agency or your higher authority will sanction the fund or give you permission to do or continue this work. This is the rider of your or the showroom of your research project. Allotment of activities. Researchers should indicate the objectives of each facet of the project, the long-term and short-term goals, procedure and activities, as well as who will be benefited to perform each of them. This is most important. Who will be needed to perform each of them. When objectives are defined, short-term, long-term goals are determined, then activities should be allocated among the researchers. Planning of time management. As it is a collaborative research, even in unidisciplinary, when you are submitting research proposal, you have to mention the time framing, such and such time is needed for literature review, some application of methodology, calculation, etc., etc. You have to give a time framing. It is a collaborative research, it is a huge research. Planning for time management should be there, depending on the field of study or specific experiment. More or less time might be required to achieve results than researchers outside of the field would expect. Taking the time to explain what is involved in performing each task helps to keep everyone on the same page and encourages realistic expectation. In collaborative research, there is gulf of difference between unidisciplinary and collaborative. Research output within the time frame of one group depends on the activity of other groups. If one group do not perform his duty according to time framing, the other group cannot perform. So as a result, total project, project will be jeopardized. And consequences will be faced by the whole team, the funding agency. You have to submit the project to the funding agency, to your university authority, to your college authority. If they find that it is not within the time framework, the funding agency may stop their funding. Even sometime, as we are in administration in universities, sometime that project is half done. A major portion of the amount has been spent, but it could not fulfill the project. That funding agency claim, as per their agreement, you have to refund all the payment which you have spent also, that should be credited from your own fund. However, hold frequent meeting, planning and routine for monthly, quarterly, annual meeting. Apart from that, as for technology is concerned, now in collaborative research, it is evident that real-time updating of your survey materials. As for example, a few months, rather it is 1 year back, almost 1 year, we have made a survey not throughout the country, outside also country, in real-time basis. There is app-based. So perhaps one of my friend or his student, they are working from Thailand, some of them Australia. When they are doing that survey and real-time, they are uploading that data from there itself. So GPS system track them that he or she is not manufacturing that data of his or her own. That is from that GPS told, this is the GPS location is there, their real time is there, and real data when he is taking interview some person, that some of the video is also there. That's why real time data will be included here also, apart from the monthly, quarterly, and annual meeting. That's why those who are pursuing now PhD, UGC has given mandatory, there is a research advisory body. In every 6 months, you have to give report of your own. Similarly, in collaborative research, you have to send the monthly report to the funding agency as well as your academic authority, quarterly as well as annual report, which are mainly the output of the monthly, quarterly, and annual meeting. Submission of progress report by each discipline. If needed, regrouping, reallocation of team member, that may also be made depending on the execution of and securing the funding. Encourage open communication, and rider I have made, be fair and respectful. Transparency and equality shall be maintained judiciously. Encourage all team members, be fair and respectful to all. Encourage all co-researchers for open and fearless communication. Sometimes from my subject, I am the PI. My student, he has different opinion from me. He's fair about me. So she or he could not express it, but it should be eradicated there. Collaborative research approaches outputs that which I have discussed there, that has been jotted down for your consumption or understanding, which I have discussed. In a nutshell, that cream is here. There is disciplinary research approaches, advancement of frontiers of knowledge of the specific discipline in the multidisciplinary, enhancement of understanding of observed phenomena from several disciplinary approaches. Hello. আচ্ছা আমার তো দেড়টা পর্যন্ত sorry. So as per I have thought that it was written there that's 1:30, that's why I am thinking 1:30. So I am trying to conclude. So before starting any project, even in marketing, SWOT, SWOT analysis is must. That is, what is the strength, what is the weakness, what is the opportunity, and what is threat. That should be calculated. There is also parameter, there is also software, how there are some strengths and weaknesses of that means human resource, physical resource, financial, integration of cost participation, past expense, etc. is there. That should be taken into consideration. The opportunities and threats, legislation, politics, economics, funding resource, demography, physical environment, local, national, international, and demand, that should be taken into consideration. These are the parameters which you have to judge before studying the collaboration. The groom of mindset, that is an important, and you should eradicate ifs and buts from your mindset that will encourage you or give fruitful result. Last of all, stakeholders need creative mindset for inculcating collaborative strategies and sharing new and innovative ideas for solving the real world problems towards sustainable development of the society. Thank you all for patient sharing. If you have any question, then you can.
Thank you very much, sir, for your nice presentation. Now the forum is open for discussion. Any question may ask directly or may write on the chat box.
Good afternoon, sir. Sir, I have a query. First of all, I would like to thank you for your wonderful presentation. Sir, I just want to know that to what extent this collaborative research is feasible in practical situation, because the collaborative teams are formed consisting of the researchers from various disciplines. So what obstructions or what infeasibility we can face in practical situation while conducting this sort of research? Sir, please explain this.
Okay. Perhaps you are thinking about the individual PhD, isn't it? Am I clear?
Sir, yes, yes.
And for that reason, you may stand alone, make a research, but if on collaborative research, you can take assistance from different stakeholders. Perhaps, what is your discipline?
Education.
Education. As for education is concerned, perhaps you are doing any research on deprived female students, isn't it?
Okay. Okay, sir.
You can do on this research, but it can be converted into multidisciplinary, even interdisciplinary. You cannot transdisciplinary in highest level, which collaborative research that cannot be done. In that case, you can take help some psychologist, some nutritionist. That they will help, and they should be acknowledged in your research paper. But they are also helping in, as a co-researcher, not in the true sense as the big collaborative research, but your subject may be collaborative in nature. In that case, PhD is yours. This your guide. Apart from your supervisor, you can take help. As for me, my guide was Professor Chatterjee, but Pranab Chakraborty, he was then Dean Calcutta University. He has given so many assistance. My friend from Australia, he also in environment, he also extended his help. That was multidisciplinary. So, in case of research, you will be the PI, you will be the researcher, but no researcher will assist you, who will be acknowledged by you, definitely.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Definite question you can ask me. I will share that.
Sulagna Chatterjee,
please.
Answer your question. Sulagna Chatterjee.
Sulagna Chatterjee.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir. A very good presentation. I have from your side. I have learned a lot, but I have to add something. Point that you have talked about pedagogy. So we have to think from school level. That is to remove the barriers between the disciplines. So then only we can think about in the higher education or in the higher studies, for this interdisciplinary or multidisciplinary type of research. Am I right or wrong?
Okay, Sularna, you are absolutely right. That's why perhaps if you have any kids, relative or of your own, now most of the schools they have introduced, particularly CBSE, ICSE, as well as West Bengal Board of Secondary Education, the projects on water, projects on environment. There are all multidisciplinary in nature, and that is called multidisciplinary project. So it has been initiated in there is environmental science, environmental study is there. What is the nature of the environmental study? That is multidisciplinary nature, isn't it? And now,
but there is a demarcation after the 10th board. That is the science, the arts, and the commerce. You have to choose the particular line or particular subjects for having that education after the 10th board.
Okay, that's fine, because you have to take the basic education. If basic is not there, if there is no foundation of a building, you cannot separate it in a bedroom or kitchen or Latin. So base education up to, that's why if you, as you are, which this one I don't know, if you Gandhian education, foundation, all the educationists have given emphasis on foundation. Foundation should be strong. If foundation is strong, then you can adopt anything. In globally, if you make graduation in arts, you can do PhD in science also. If your knowledge and foundation is good.
Then from the undergraduate, we can think from the plus 2 stage.
As per NEP is concerned, and our government has also introduced, I don't know, there is no roadmap is there, but there is research from the graduation. After 3 years, it is only plain graduate, graduation with research honors. That is research.
And even in the school level, NEP has proposed some diversified courses.
The world is going on transdisciplinary, but we are thinking about the multidisciplinary. So it will gradually come. In one day or two, it cannot be, but it has been initiated. Okay. Any more questions?
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you, madam. Thank you, sir. Actually, in this presentation, sir enlightened us on the different areas on evaluation of research strategies, paradigm shift for collaborative strategies in India as well as abroad. Recommendations about multidisciplinary approaches according to NEP 2020, significance of co-authorships for collaboration, necessity of scientific collaboration, outcomes of scientific collaboration, salient features of different types of approaches like disciplinary, multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary, transdisciplinary, and also detailing of different guiding principles for research collaboration. Thank you once again, sir, for your valuable presentation. Thank you.
Welcome.
Now I'd like to request Dr. Oishwarya Dev for give the formal vote of thanks for this session.
Thank you, sir. Very good afternoon to all of you. Myself, Dr. Aishwarya De, Assistant Professor, Department of Education, Chandraketugala Shohidullah Sriti Mahavidyalaya, which is affiliated to West Bengal State University. It's my pleasure to present formal vote of thanks for this session. On behalf of the organizers and participants, I would like to express my heartfelt thanks to our eminent resource person for this session, Professor Dr. Ashit Kumar Das, for his wonderful delegation. Thank you, sir, for enriching us. Your thoughts have enlightened our mind and have shown us a new path towards research work. I would like to extend my sincere thanks to the organizers of this 7 days online multidisciplinary international workshop on research methodology. Last but not the least, I would also like to thank all the participants for their enthusiastic involvement throughout the session. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
very
sir.
much, sir. Just I would like to mention here, thanks to Palash sir, Krishna madam, and all participants. And sir always extend his hand for our different type of academic activities. Sir also share a experience with me. Just I would like to mention here. Sir recently also visited Dubai World Conference on STIME on March 2023, and he share a session and paper a present and involve him a group discussion session. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vishwajit. It's my pleasure as in your Baba Saheb Ambedkar Teachers Education University, there is 3 of my young friends are there. Those who are alma mater of my Kolkata University, Vishwajit, Rajiv, and Shantikar perhaps, Bhutanese.
Avantika.
Avantika. Yes. All are young friends. I am very happy. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
And,
Thank you, sir.
We will start our schedule program in time.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Give me permission to leave.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I am leaving. Okay. Bye-bye.
In the third session, Subroto Bishwas will moderate the particular session after lunch at 2 p.m. Thank you to all.
আচ্ছা, এখানে আমি একটু 2 মিনিট নেবো আপনাদের পার্টিসিপেন্টদের 2 মিনিট একটু কথা বলার জন্য। একটু যদি কাইন্ডলি আপনারা শোনেন, এখানে একটু বলার কথা হচ্ছে প্রত্যেক পার্টিসিপেন্টকে কালীনগর মহাবিদ্যালয় এবং বাবা সাহেব আম্বেদকর এডুকেশন ইউনিভার্সিটির তরফ থেকে বলা হচ্ছে প্রত্যেকটা সেশনে আপনাদের অ্যাটেন্ডেন্স মাস্ট। কারণ আমরা দেখছি যে কোনো কারণে হয়তো নেটওয়ার্কের কারণে হোক বা যাই হোক, যে আপনাদের কিন্তু লেফট হয়ে যাচ্ছেন বা জয়েন হতে পারছেন না। তো এটা একটু খেয়াল রাখবেন, আপনাদের প্রত্যেকটা সেশনে সার্টিফিকেট পাওয়ার জন্য কিন্তু প্রত্যেকটা সেশনে অ্যাটেন্ডেন্স মাস্ট। এছাড়া আপনাদের যে ওয়ার্ক অ্যাসাইন শিডিউল তৈরি করা হয়েছে, যেখানে যার নামে যেভাবে শিডিউল করা হয়েছে সেভাবেই আপনাদেরকে পার্টিসিপেট করতে হবে। বিশেষত সার্টিফিকেট পাওয়ার জন্য কিন্তু অ্যাটেন্ডেন্স, আমি আবারও বলছি, আপনাদের অ্যাটেন্ডেন্স মাস্ট, ওয়ার্ক অ্যাসাইন্ড এবং শেষ দিনের এক্সামও মাস্ট। এই বলে আমি আজকে ছোট্টভাবে শেষ করছি, কিন্তু বারবার যদিও এখানে একটি আজকের জন্য যে সমস্যা দেখা দিয়েছে সেই সমস্যাটা হচ্ছে অনেকের ভোটের আজকে গভর্নমেন্ট ভোটের ডিউটি পড়েছে, যার জন্য অনেকে তারা করতে পারেনি, আমাদের ইনফর্ম করেছেন। যদি এই ধরনের কোনো প্রবলেম আসে সেটা আপনারা জানাতে পারেন আমাদেরকে, আমরা অবশ্যই আপনাদেরকে সহযোগিতা করার চেষ্টা করব। কিন্তু আবারও বলছি, আপনারা অবশ্যই পার্টিসিপেট করুন, না হলে কিন্তু আপনাদের সার্টিফিকেট ইস্যু হতে সমস্যা হবে। ধন্যবাদ।
কৃষ্ণা ম্যাডাম, আমার একটু কথা বলার আছে। বলছি, কালকে একটা হোয়াটসঅ্যাপ গ্রুপে মেসেজ পাঠানো হয়েছে যে আইডি প্রুফ আর 2 কপি ফটো, ওটা আমরা কিভাবে পাঠাবো?
ওটা আপনাদের গ্রুপ ওয়াইজ আপনাদের একটা করে ওয়ার্কশপ হবে। অলরেডি কালকে বি গ্রুপের হয়ে গেছে, আপনাদের যখন যে গ্রুপের হবে তখন আপনাদের সবকিছু ইনফর্ম করে দেওয়া হবে।
আচ্ছা, ঠিক আছে। থ্যাংক ইউ ম্যাডাম।
ঠিক আছে, তাহলে এবার আপনারা প্রত্যেকে লাঞ্চ ব্রেকে যেতে পারেন। থ্যাংক ইউ।